spaceship, but this politics killing it. Since then, the voices of the youth could only echo. They became introduced firing squad, led by Angin problems with the law. As if that wasn't enough, they started to pass political position in inheritance to their son. We managed to get out of dictatorship, and we became slaves to democracy. The only diplomatics are aristocrats. The rigging, mismanagement of funds, and certain code of conduct demoralized our hopes. Today, a lot of us want change, but none of us is willing to change. None of us is willing to take the equal rights upon ourselves. So this is the slavery,
and dreams may be as errors, but this politics is killing it. Please put your hands together for the prayer. Okay, so we're going to take one more poem from you, but not now. Before we do that, I'd like to ask you, Betty, what role do you think your poems will play in engaging and connecting with contemporary society?
Okay. Like I said earlier, Sycamore is a collection of poems that deals with issues that we currently experience in society. So what Sycamore would do is force you to have conversations that you naturally not want to have, or that society has told you to keep short about, and force you to ask yourself questions that you might not like the answers you would give. So basically we have issues that address poems that address very key issues in society. For instance, I would say one of the poems is titled what's it called? Death basically is about sexual abuse, but this time around to a child. Now society has this culture of silence where something has been done to a minor. Invariably, we know that this thing is wrong. But then we try to look for the is and the what and the how and the why not that can actually justify what has happened and excuse the person that should be blamed in such a way that where one person should carry the cross. Now every other person involved is holding one part of the cross or the other. In the end, we have questions like where was the mother when this happened? Why didn't you take better care of your child? Why did she cry? This boy, maybe he was drunk, maybe he was going through depression. Eventually, the conversations we should be having, we have left that conversation behind. And now we are chasing shadows and inconsequential things. So basically, Sycamore is like the mirror, saying that before you open your mouth to say anything about this issue, look into this mirror, assess the situation. If the tables were turned and you were in the same situation, would you want people to pass the same judgment? Would you want them to make the same statements? Would you want them to be passive-aggressive the way you are about this same issue?
Thank you. So this question is interesting. I'm happy I get to ask this question because already you said it's situated in, it's about your experiences, about where you're from. So beyond Usoko, beyond Port University State, how do you envision your poems or your poetry connecting with a wider audience?
Okay, so Usoko boys are for everyone. Why? Because we come from a place. And growing up, there are things you see that you feel my seniors are supposed to be this, they are supposed to do this, do that, and they are not doing it. And you want to do it. You want to take that courage to do it. And one of the things the poems in this book will do is the fact that it calls people to become ambassadors of where they come from. We are in a society where everyone is claiming city boy, city girl. Some people they have reasons why not to go to the village because they feel they go this and they will kill me. But if you leave it to them, That means if you're not going, what are you going to tell your kids? The same thing applies to Nigeria. So it's not just about your village. Same applies to Nigeria. We all want to jack white, but then if we jack and we don't come back beyond the country, then wait till we tell our kids, or where we point them to. So we must have a reason for we to stay, even if you're leaving. Don't leave not to come, but leave in order for you to have a reason to come back. I have a poem titled Nehemiah. You know the allusion Nehemiah in the Bible. Yeah. You know. So we need to come back to who we are, because there's this word in Ghana, Sankofa. Yeah, so Sankofa is about going back to get it if you go far. Because for you to actually do the things that people will want to know more, you have gone back to know who you are. So this poem is about knowing who you are, going back to the roots. You understand? Becoming ambassador of where you come from, and also looking for how you can become better than the people, what the people have done now, for you to be a motivation to the generation that are coming.
Thank you very much. Joshua, over to you. So your collection, your poems are more contemporary, right? Do you? What? Pardon?
They're contemporary.
Yeah, you have a lot.
Yeah, it's a mix.
Yeah, you have a lot of contemporary in your collection. And so I'm wondering, do you have like a target audience, or you know, is there like a target? Do you have like when you were writing, when you were constructing the poems, when you were creating this poem, do you have like a target audience in mind? And then what did you hope to achieve?
I did.
Okay.
So my target audience was actually for people. It was based on people who are looking forward to explore their capacities in art, or gain inspiration from art. Because there's no way you read any poem I've written and not come up with an insight of what that poem meant and how you can use that as an advice. Or use what you have learned from that piece of poetry to adjust the things in your life, the things that surround your life. Take for instance, the plague of our wave. I said something. I said it's the first time we save the world by watching television and sitting at home. Usually we always feel like, I have to eat here, I have to do this, I have to do that. But now, in order for us to save ourselves and the people we care about, we have to isolate ourselves. And if you read that poem, I say something else. I said, Now this poem actually teaches you to learn to take care of yourself, to take multivitamin the time you should, to understand that having multiple designers doesn't really make you who you are. What makes you who you are is the relationship you have with your family members. Because imagine you were growing up, you were bonded with your family by your parents, and then everyone started to go their various ways in life, and coming back from work, by the time you're back, you really need to probably asleep or something. But now all of you have to be in the same house. You have to see yourself daily, you wait to see yourself, you get used to yourself, and you are accustomed to a particular one behavior. It's like it teaches you, then bond with people you never had a means to bond with, even though they were families. So my target audience is actually it was based on people who wanted to explore art, to see the capacity of what art creates. It doesn't have to do with age or anything, because I make sure that every word there was not actually parental advisory rated. It was something that even a 10-year-old could pick up and read and actually see meaning to what it meant. And all my poems are very educative. There's none of my poems you read that you don't have an insight on what I'm talking about. Take for instance the artist diplomatic that I actually read. Even without you being a Nigerian or without you being an African, you already have an idea of what the colonial era created to these people. And what the Civil War meant to Nigeria and the outcome of the Civil War and the things that actually took part in it. So that's the way I write. I write from the educated perspective that when you're done reading, at least you already know plus one than what you already knew before.
Thank you very much, Joshua. Thank you. So Joshua, Bedu, I'm going to come back to you again. You mentioned that Gabriel O'Hara wrote the forward for your first collection. How have you evolved as a poet? Like kind of the first collection that you wrote that he wrote the forward for. Is that the same kind of poetry you're still writing, or have you grown as a writer?
Yeah, I've grown as a writer. I have. So before I met Gabriel O'Hara, I was writing. I was writing like Shakespeare. Shakespeare writes more in the sonnet kind of way. You understand? Where he wants to rhyme, you get. So when I met Gabriel O'Hara and he was reading through my manuscript, he told me something. He said that I shouldn't look at rhyming in every poem. Instead, I should try as much as possible to tell a story, then let the rhymes flow. So I took that advice, and ever since I don't write poetry because I want to rhyme. I just allow the words flow, and then anywhere there is rhymes, take it like that. Then another thing I do. So one thing about me is I try to always create a niche for myself. So as a poet, from being a page poet to being a spoken word poet, I ask myself, okay, poetry, spoken word poetry. Someone stand the poet standing behind the mic, speaking poetry. What if you have the kind of poetry that people can dance to? And then that's what made me to start with poetry, blending poetry and music together. I'm still giving out poetry, but in a way that people can dance to, and which I've experimented that in Lagos Fringe, severally, and people have come to my show and they can actually dance to poetry. And also most poets. They are poetry ends for spoken word poets. Most of them, they are poetry ends after their performance. But I've gone ahead to release spoken word album and spoken word EP. So even when I'm not on stage, you can still performing. You can still have enough of my poems on Apple, Spotify.
Nice. Okay, so please, you guys have heard. Please support him, visit those channels, and listen to his work. Betty, for you, I know that this is your first collection, but when was this collection released?
In 2021.
Okay, so since 2021, 2 years later, how have you evolved as a poet? And what would you do differently if you were to write this now?
Okay. Let me say first that this is actually a reprint. This was printed this year, 2023. So the initial book in 2021 didn't have as much poems. And from that time till now, there have been periods where I didn't write at all. That was when I was in law school, 2021 to 2022. Yeah. So but in 2023, okay, let me say from December 2022 up until now, I have written works that I would say are not exactly the same type of work that I have here when it comes to structure. For this one, they are just the traditional stanza kind of poems. But now I find myself thinking out of the box. I experiment a bit more. I read a lot of books, so I've seen more literary or writing styles that I can actually incorporate. But some of the poems were added in 2023, so you would notice the difference between the old one and this one.
Well done. Joshua, Yeah. So, when did you start writing poetry?
I started writing poetry in 2014. That was after reading To Kill a Mockingbird by Ali. And
So that's like 10 years, about a decade of almost 9 years. Okay, so how have you grown? The kind of poetry you wrote in 2014, is that the same? Is that the same? I was working with an author, and he said he wrote one book, and he was so proud of himself. He took it out to publishers, they rejected it, and he was angry. And then years later, after he won, one of these prestigious awards, he went back to look at that manuscript. He was so ashamed of himself. Like, this is what I showed somebody. So how have you evolved as a poet since 2014 till now?
To be honest, I would when I started writing poems, I used really basic lines. Aside the lines being basic, they were just a series of nursery rhymes because I wanted everything to rhyme. If it didn't rhyme, then that wasn't the point to me. But at the end of the day, I realized that me trying to rhyme every poem is actually me caging my capacity. Like I should explore the words inside of me. And if you see that most of the poems that actually turn out to win these prestigious awards or gain recognition are not poems that and I developed myself past that. Can you still hear me?
I guess I hear you.
Okay. So I learned to go according to the flow, and I developed myself past that. Also built up my vocabulary by reading more books, because it's not about writing a poem that has to do with big grammars. It has to do about writing a poem that when the person reads it, they know you have sense. You don't want to write a poem where they're like, who is this author self? You get what I mean?
Yeah.
And I even start publishers, like even when you give them money to publish it for you, they'll tell you, it's not going to come under my name. Because they have seen that the work doesn't really tell it doesn't really tell that this is a good work. So even if you're paying for it, they don't want that to be attached to it. I developed myself over the years, and I'm still developing, because there's no limit to how far you can go or how better you can be in writing. In fact, your best potentials are yet to be explored. The more you write, the better you become. So,
no.
Yeah.
Okay, please put your hands together for them again. We're going to take the next set of performances. Betty, you go first. So you go first, and then Joshua, and then Bedu Poet, and then I'll just take the last questions and we'll be done. And thank you everyone for sitting in and being such a cool audience.
Okay, so because Sycamore is not just about death and rape and sadness and all the negative emotions, there is the healing part that has all the happy feelings and all the growing and positive expressions. So I'll be reading one of the poems from the second chapter. And the chapter, I think it's important that I mention that the chapter is titled What It Means to Bloom. That's for the second chapter. And this poem is titled Chaos. Now, usually we associate chaos with negative feelings, like something that would come and cause a disaster and go its way. But it doesn't have to be that way. And that's why I wrote this poem. Chaos is life. Chaos is the voices in my head, each vying for undivided attention. Chaos is my mind, the forgery. a birthplace for perfect and not so perfect ideas. Chaos is a place like purgatory, the perfect place to be in limbo. Chaos is a song, an orchestra of discordant tunes. Chaos is perfect. Let there be light, and chaos was made beautiful. Chaos is a stage, rough and untidy, yet the perfect canvas for the universe. Chaos is a dance, a certain kind of madness that only true madmen born from chaos will understand. Thank you.
Joshua, we'd like to take another poem from you.
Okay, so this poem is titled "The People versus Me," because one thing is the public opinion that surrounds us is the reason most of us are actually caged and fail to explore our potentials. And the other thing that follows is we allow the things that people say of us to define what our life is to be, rather than coming up with their own initiative, the creative ideas that God has given to us. I remember someone said, he told his father that he was going to be a writer. Then the father said, you will never make any money in life, because how many people buy books since today? But at the end of the day, he pursued his career and is doing fine in writing today. So this poem is titled "The People versus Me." I would start. It usually starts with an opinion forwarded by a compulsory suggestion, and then it seems as if I am doing it all wrong. Not even words of encouragement to make me strong. I take it as them feeling like they know it all. If you see me doing things wrong, let it be as a means for me to obtain an experience and form. Don't make it seem as if you are the only one who knows it all. It's myself against this world. As a man, I'm supposed to be strong. Even if I fall to the floor, I shouldn't cry. Rather, I should say it is small. I understand ignorance is inevitable in the presence of mankind, but certain individuals in the society feel they know every way around. Take a peep at your personal life. It is unkempt with a lot of trash, covered up with "I am just following the mass. My independence and way of life troubles their eyes. These people are against me, oh Lord." Take people, these people hold on to it like a trophy, just like a quote from Eddie Murphy saying, "All men are sculptors, constantly chipping away the unwanted parts of their lives, trying to create the ideas of their masterpiece. This is all I'm trying to do whilst trying to assemble my broken pieces. Yet, these people don't see the light in my efforts. All they notice is where I went wrong. If I'm doing fine and achieving, they suddenly don't see those touches. It's me against the people, oh Lord. I know I may have done a lot of things wrong, but one I would never do is give up, because it is not even in my options. What they say or think of me is like dirt on the floor. They say I shit, I flush. They turn off the light, I recharge from the sun. They take my money, I plan to get more. They detest me, I still wouldn't care much. They think I don't deserve love, they would end up odds. See men looking away from their own lives and focusing on mine. God, you admire this far, and they still deny this truth. Oh Lord, let this life be as sweet as stew. In the end, it's all you. I trust your works. They talk much, they end up green. And for the money, I would keep getting more.
Thank you. I like that last line. As for the money, I'll keep getting more. So before Bedu Poet takes his poem, I'd like to notify us that Joshua donated some copies of his collection, Joe's Tania, to Labaf, and people would like copies can go disturb Naya. She has copies to give to you. Thank you, Joshua, for this suggestion.
You're welcome.
Okay, so Bedu Poet.
I said about Nehemiah, so I will read that poem. It has a chorus. It's quite long. Let's see how we can do it. So the chorus goes like this. We are the Nehemiahs to rebuild the broken walls. We are the Nehemiahs rebuild the broken walls. Tobiah says, Sambala, you cannot stop a moving train. Tobiah says, Sambala, you cannot stop a moving train. Can we do it? All right. I need that and then go. All right. Let's go. Let's go. With the hand now. We are the Nehemiahs to rebuild the broken walls. We are the Nehemiahs to rebuild the broken walls. Tobiah says, Sambala, you cannot stop a moving train. Tobiah says, Sambala, you cannot stop a moving train. We don't chop belleful, but we don't get joy. Sake of say the walls of Merisanju are still a global plantation swallowed by a forest. A city built by God in the image of a woman, brought grumbles by the grumbles of nothingness and pride of emptiness that made our hallowed nakedness of a thief. We are the Nehemiahs to rebuild the broken walls. We are the Nehemiahs to rebuild the broken walls. Tobiah says, Sambala, you cannot stop a moving train. Tobiah says, Sambala, you cannot stop a moving. History makes my heart bleed and command my hands to build and rebuild creative architectures that will be a virus growing in the hearts of anyone who looks into the mirror of my mind. I've learned not to take his to cut, but to see how brings the wall, brings the ball into my court to play so without giving mercy. For the nets I'll feel the warmth of our embracing gold round the clock, the round leather. We are the Nehemiahs to rebuild the broken walls. We are the Nehemiahs to rebuild the broken walls. Tobiah says, Sambala, you cannot stop a moving train. Tobiah says, Sambala, you cannot stop a moving train. We've woken up from slumber on the good side of the bird. Our snoring is the scene of the past. These days we fight insomnia because our dreams deny our eyes sleep. We invested our heart into these to create art that history will forever smile to whenever she speaks of these times. Our life depends on this, to make a living testament, a living statement that the lions in our loins will forever recite to keep the lionic legacy to its last blood, no matter the battle in the jungle. We've come of age to stage a war for a new dispensation of the Nigeria, the Usokun of our dreams. We are the Nehemiahs to rebuild the broken walls. We are the Nehemiahs to rebuild the broken walls. Tobiah says, Sambala, you cannot stop a moving train. Tobiah says, Sambala, you cannot stop a moving train.
Thank you. You have fun. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you to the three authors, to the three poets. We're wrapping this up now, and I'd just like to give you 1 minute to, what do you have to say to any aspiring poets? And then I'm going to take, after this one, we'll take questions. But what do you have to say to any aspiring poets?
I feel like I'm still aspiring. So, from one aspiring to another, you can do it. Poetry is not as grand as it is as mighty as it seems for some people. Have fun. Try to explore. Do whatever it is that you are. I'm using the word comfortable now, very loosely. Like do whatever it is you are comfortable with, but at the same time, be ready to learn on your journey. Ready to do things that will challenge you. Ready to put your emotions and bring out the very best in you.
Okay, so when should we expect another collection?
Okay. I'm working on one. It will be ready when it's ready. Am I allowed to say that?
All right. Joshua, so someone comes to you and says, "Oh, are you the author? Are you the author of Joe's Collector?" And I say, "Yes." "Oh, I want to be like you when I grow up." What would you say to the person?
I would say to them to put the passion before they put the talent first, because you can be really talented, but if you don't have the passion, that's when you start to lack the consistency to deliver or to write productive things. Because it's one thing for you to write, it's another thing for your writing to be productive and to touch lives. So at the end of the day, I would always say to them, put the passion, forget about the talent, put the passion, network with people, and also try to develop your crafts. Don't say I'm perfect already. There's really no need to learn more. The more you learn, the better you realize that there were loopholes in your craft that needed to be fixed. So that's what I would say to them, the willingness to learn and also to grow that passion for writing.
Thank you, Joshua. Okay. I want to write about my people. Someone comes to you and says, "Oh, what would you say to someone who aspires to, not just right now, but you've done a lot of work as a poet. You've evolved from just writing to performing and now to creating albums. What would you say? How did you advise anyone who wants to walk your path?"
Okay, I will advise the person to, first of all, know what you want to say, and then be free to say it. Someone asked Steve Jobs in an interview that how come he creates products that people love. He said people don't actually know what they love. He just creates, and then people love it. So before, there was nothing like sciences, arts. People like the likes of Aristotle and other creators, they were just creating. Most of them, you see their names in science books, in art books. So as a creator, you should have the freedom to just create. Just create. Because when you create, you are instigating something in someone else that you don't know. You understand? That's one. Then two, you should know that the stories you tell, they have a way of building someone else, to spark something in someone else. Most people, all they just want to hear or see somewhere, just a word that will spark a world in them. Things Fall Apart is more than 5 years now. It's because of what he saw somewhere, you understand, that sparked that idea. And today we are celebrating Things Fall Apart for more than 50 years. So just create. As a creator, what do? You just create.
Thank you. Joshua, should we expect another Collectana anytime soon?
Possibly in 2 years, because I have a contract with a British publisher, Austin Macaulay. Okay. It's currently being reviewed, and hopefully everything will be done shortly, and that should be out in less than 2 years from now.
Okay. All right. So, what's next? An EP, an album, another book. What's next for you?
Okay. So, some few months ago, I did a collaboration with a visual artist. So I wrote one poem out of all his artworks. So he did a solo exhibition. So we translated those poems into a book published, and then we recorded the poems into an album, so you can listen to that on Spotify.
Okay.
Then next week is Lagos Fringe. I have a show with Lagos Fringe. I just dropped some new works. I'll be performing them in my show on Saturday and Sunday. That's next week.
You pay Labaf for this advert. Continue.
Yeah. Okay. So that's that. Next week, Lagos Fringe, Saturday, Sunday. I have a show with them. You can just get a ticket. Then you can search me on any music platform. Just type 2 white number 2 apostrophe WYTH. You see my works. You can stream them and get more.
Okay, so any questions from the audience? Any aspiring poets who want to ask questions that I may have missed? So you guys are satisfied, like you've heard enough. Any questions at all? Okay, yeah, please. I'll bring it to you. Oh, okay, thank you.
Hello. Hi, my name is Ijoma. As a young writer, trying to explore, trying to do a lot of things, how has it been, creating all of these things, putting it in the market? How has the struggle been? Because a lot of people don't understand what all of this are. I'm putting it out there. How's the acceptance been? Pushing it, believing. You got to do. You find out that when you're doing all of these things, they tell you, "Shouldn't have this thing you want to." You did right, how far? And so people who are not mentally balanced enough will shift away from that dream and go and focus on the expectations that other people push them to. So please, generally, how has it been, and what's the encouragement for we, trying to be like you people? Because you guys are stars. So, what's the encouragement like? I beg, talk, tell us. What's the secrets? And, how do we do it? How do we deal with it? Thank you.
Thank you, Joma. So, you want to answer?
Yeah. So, as a creative, not just as a poet, as a creative in Nigeria, if you want to keep creating, please look for a side hustle that will be giving you money first. First, look for the side hustle that will give you money. You know that you are worth more than billions. You're worth more than the oil fields of Saudi Arabia. But it takes time for people to see that. It takes time for that value to grow into that people can now put in billions just for you to come and speak, or to come and sing, or to come and perform. So look for a side hustle that will be taking care of your day-to-day, and then on the side you create. When you create, try as much as possible to promote as much as you can. Look for opportunities, platform to put yourself out there. Because it is in trying to do that that you see that investor that has been looking for you. You are looking for an investor, but there's an investor that is still looking for you. So you have to do your own work so that by the time you see that investor, you are not ill prepared. Because most of the people who are making money with the art today, they have spent more than 5 years, going to 10 years, doing the same thing, but over time you just see that it just clicks. And another thing again that I would say is, see your creation of art as a legacy. You understand? A legacy that you're actually putting out for your name and also for your children. The likes of Fela, what Fela created then, it may not have given him a lot of money, but the family is benefiting from it.
Yeah, please, Betty.
Okay, first I would say, define yourself before the world defines you. Most times it's when we do not define ourselves that we let people give us a certain definition that appears correct to them, but is not our own reality. Now, I've met people who have told me, but you're a lawyer. What do you have to do with poetry? You better go to the courtroom and go and do what you're supposed to do. Now, where the place of defining yourself comes in is, earlier I mentioned that while I was in law school, I didn't write at all. Now, I always knew that I've always known that I am a poet. Now, coming out of law school, it would have been a bad idea for me to now subscribe to the notion that because I am a lawyer, I have to be serious about life and focus on everything formal, prim and proper, like lawyers will say. But now, from the point of defining myself, I knew that I had to go back to reading books, to writing every day, to grooming my craft in such a way that if someone were to look at me and say that you are just a lawyer, they would read something I have written and be like, oh, I made a mistake. You are a lawyer and a writer. So define yourself before society defines you.
Wow, thank you. Thank you, Betty. Joshua, would you like to drop a word to the question?
I believe two white Bedu poets actually said everything I would have said in the aspect of having a side also.
Okay.
And one thing about art is, there's a time maybe you need a pat on your back and there's no one to do it for you. You can always reach out from behind and do it by yourself, because people may not really appreciate your craft. Even your own friends, the people you believe that, oh, they should support me and all that, like they're not really there for you. But at the end of the day, when it is your year, it's your year. Like you yourself, you get tired of the goodness coming to you. You just have to keep a good faith and keep doing what you are doing. If you look at the creatives of now, and you compare the creatives of then, you would see that the creatives of now are actually benefiting from the creatives of then. Two white men spoke about Fela, but at the end of the day, it's people like Burna Boy and the Afrobeat artists that are enjoying the ways he paved. Now, if you look at the likes of Ben Enwu in arts, he didn't really make much before he died. But after his death, his artwork sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars. And he gained that recognition internationally. And you find this artwork in international museums, the same place you see works of people like Leonardo da Vinci and Van Gogh and all of sorts. Now, this is a typical Nigerian man, and his work is in a very great museum somewhere in New York. You have some in Europe as well. But at the end of the day, he was not doing it based on what people are saying of him. He was doing it because that was his passion. Just like I said earlier on, you need to put in that passion and the willingness to learn for your crafts to become what it is meant to be, because that is what preserves your mojo, your aura. Because if you want to go according to the tune of the people that surround you, to be honest, you'll be disappointed. So you just start to do things by yourself, and when it is your year of recognition, it will come to you, and by then you'll be equipped with all the tactics you need to retain or at least to sustain the wave of goodness coming to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'd like to say thank you to our author, to our three poets. Thank you to the audience. Has anyone got any other question? Oh, okay, sorry. Please, someone has a question here.
Good afternoon. My name is Irawo, and my question is actually about deciding what should go out. I know that all three poets here have multiple works. I think Joshua mentioned that he would write about 4 different poems on the same topic, and then he would merge them, and then I think he also mentioned he has manuscripts and all. So how do you decide which one should be published? How do you decide which one you want to share with the world? Because I know several people would write and be like, would this thing really matter to people? Would they accept it? All those questions and all. How do you decide what thing to share with the world?
Okay, Joshua, I think you should answer that question. It's most suited for...
Okay, to be honest, I selectively decide, because if you take your time to decide, indecision is also a decision. That's one thing we fail to realize as writers. You not deciding is you wasting time of when your work should be out there, and probably the word in your work could have actually saved a life. You hear people share testimony in church or saying, I ended up reading this Bible verse, and when I went out, I was able to apply the wisdom I gained from that Bible verse. So you not deciding is you actually limiting another man from exploring his potential. So at the end of the day, you just need to choose randomly. Don't say, oh, I want to see if this is reasonable enough. Of course she created it. When God created us, he didn't say, oh, this one is reasonable, that one is not reasonable. No, God didn't do that. So we are creatives as well. We just have to go according to the flow. Let it flow in us. And don't feel the need to want to be extremely perfect, because when you try to be perfect, you end up making a lot of mistakes. That's just the truth.
Thank you. Two Whites, do you want to add something?
So I want to say a very big thank you to Cora and to Labaf for giving us this opportunity. So, okay, so back to your question. So before any book is published, you have a lot of other pieces that you've written. So at the point where you're putting those works together, you have to do a lot of reading and reading of the works you want to put out. So when you do that, now that's the process where it's like you're locked up with your work in a room. So you know what works for the particular thing you want to send out. Like for this book, Usokun Boy, I already have the themes or the particular thing the statement I want to make with this book. So there are some poems that cannot make it into this one. There are some that may make it, but for what I'm envisaging, they don't have what it takes, the depth, you understand? So I have to remove them. So the more you read the poems, the more you leave it, you come back to it, you will know. It's just like when you run into two girls, for instance, and then the two of them are beautiful. Over time, when you spend some time with them or from a distance, you observe them, you know the one that your heart goes for.
Okay,
You
okay.
get, yeah.
Okay. All right. Any other questions, please? Okay, so we had a very enjoyable conversation. Thank you, Cora Labaf, for this opportunity and for having us. Thank you, Joshua. Thank you, Two Whites. Thank you, Betty. It was really nice having this conversation. Thank you. Joshua, I'm going to hold your collection. I'm snapping on your behalf since you're not here. Okay, so.
Okay.
No. Please, where are the... we need more people to join the photograph. Yes. If Funaya, you cannot stress me for this and not be here. Uncle, join us. Thank you. Uncle, join us. Thank you. Clap for him, stand up. Yeah, thank you. You come and drag me. I'll wait for front. Thank you.
Thank you. Please, can we appreciate them once again? Thank you very much. So the master class has been postponed, and we'll be screening a documentary now titled... Sir?
Joshua.
Yes, sir.
Okay. the master class, there are some young writers we invited to be part of this. But they are not here, yes. Apart from our own members, they are not here. So we decided to take, because we wanted it to happen in the library. We have a library and resource center now. That's where we wanted the master class to be. So the setting is different from a festival setting. So we are going to be in touch with you to tell you exactly when. We hope to open the library around the middle of December. So we'll take the master class, and because the school actually showed interest in that particular thing, but they are not here. Yeah, I think they had some program somewhere.
All right, sir.
So just be with us. We'll call you, and then by then we'll be asking for more copies of the book. This one to buy.
Definitely.
We'll be buying the book then. Thanks for the gift of the books. Okay. Thank you very much. Yes.
All right.
I know you wanted them to sell it and keep the money, but we decided to give to people who sat through because they had you.
Yeah, that's still very good.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. We wanted to show a documentary on Lagos. One of the finals for us today land. My boss and Nigeria. They were five of them. So we're going straight into we go straight into the next session because the writer is around. Every year we try to do something around the knowledge economy. And the very simple point that books, education, empowerment, and enlightenment. The chairman of Cora just came in. You're welcome. So we say book and education and enlightenment helps you to build a knowledge economy. Big as the Nigerian economy is, it is still not a knowledge economy. It's like the Georgia is so impoverished that they do not have the power to really make right decisions. It's only now that we are having tech, the technical guys are coming up, that are just beginning to realize the importance of literature, of music, of fashion, all of this. But in those occasions, discipline, it's the knowledge economy. It is what you read, what you consume, just like food. What you consume is what sustains you. What nourishes is what sustains you. It is what you read that nourishes your mind. It is what you read that gets you empowered. Okay. Having said that, I will say a big round of applause for one of the final Nigeria players, Henry Akubure. Stop! You are distracting. Henry Akubure is one of the three finalists for the Nigeria Prize for Culture. And if you come far from over 43 scripts, you're already a winner. It means that you are one of the best people in the country. Thank you, Henry. And it's also a literary editor with this newspaper, one of the most astute in that respect. Please, can we tell Mr. Kesho that the session will go now? The film we saw this morning, which is on the history of Lagos, also the history of Nigeria. And I'm happy. Play a big round of applause for the Cora because the film, I have to tell the filmmaker that when it comes back, we have to convoke chairman. I'm committing on your neck. We have to convoke a meeting of you and the filmmaker. So they can some of those questions. Yes. And I saw I really understood some of the questions that came from the film about culture, about. But the takeaway was that statement. Taiwa he said, I'm over 80 and I'm still flaunting my. That's my takeaway. And the one about hairstyle. Because all of them are wearing shiny hairstyle. He told them about hairstyle. Please, because you have production, don't shoot me. Because they have a play, so they went and played there. You think I know that will joke. Okay, so now the next session which is key to the knowledge economy is by Mr. Lawson Mokodion. This book we engaged in last year. We engaged last year, then we have decided to do it again. Because we believe that it's one of the most important books because personal story and national story. So Mr. Tonya, please. Good afternoon, everybody. this is the second book. Okay, I have to do proper protocol. The chairman of the Board of Trustees is here. Mr. Mo Kodion, Cora is the organizer of this festival. That's the committee for relevant art. And the person you're sitting next to, who is probably your old friend in the banking days, is the chairman of the Board of Trustees of that organization that runs this festival. So it's important. In several other places. Okay. Now, powered by poverty, there's a reason why we are having this second time. We had a book yesterday that was also coming for the second time in our event. That one didn't show up at the last festival, but we had a book track thing that we were discussing with you. Roving Heights. And because that was very pivotal to this discussion, our theme is the reset, history of Darkling Plain. We needed to engage fully at this festival. So why is your book very important? Now, last year when we had a conversation with you, sir, the moderator focused largely on your childhood, on your beginnings. But essentially, your book is about, it's largely about the banking crisis. Your book is also largely about the Nigerian economy. And those aspects, because we are talking about reset, and the reset we're talking about is actually about the Nigerian economy. I do know personally, because I know you now for close to 40 years, I know that personally you are very keen on the structural exchange program. As a matter of fact, this week seemed to be the voice of the SAP, structural adjustment program, sorry. Omolo will write, that's what he's recording. He will write an article that basically says, okay, so we've been to Ikeja market and everything seems cozy, where there are hitches here and there, but Tate and Lyle has been privatized, a number of blah, blah, blah. Some of us who came from a socialist background were wondering why laying off staff by the Tate and Lyle woman, who was a very major character in Mr. Omokodion's articles. Why was the woman a star? So, in any case, for the purpose of this conversation, Mr. Omokodion is a 71-year-old Nigerian entrepreneur, business journalist, banker. He rose to become an executive director of All States at the time that All States was one of those very significant second-generation banks, far higher ranking than the Zenith banks of today, or as a matter of fact, Access Bank, which is now the biggest. Access, talking about Access now, Access 900 million naira loan at the time, in the 90s, from All States. And he left, when he thought that the dust were gathering. That's part of the conversation we're going to have today. And by the second day, they were headhunting him at another bank, Liberty Bank, where he worked. And then there was a banking consolidation. And so the conversation we're going to have largely will take off away from his childhood years. He's going to talk about that. But it's important for us, if we're talking about the reset, history, that we evaluate what actually happened to the so-called structural adjustment program. We're told, for example, that was what gave birth to privatization and all that, and the reason why NCA became just one organization, and there's a rise today, and there's channels today, and we had MTN and co. I'm just trying to frame it in layman's language. But so without further ado, let me bring Mr. Omokodion to the so we can have this conversation. Yes, sir. You want to sit? Okay, maybe I should sit here. So since you are the central person. No, sit down, sir. No, it's all right. And this is a mic for you. It's just the two of us. Your bag, okay. Who is holding? Oh, can you bring his bag? Okay, the book is there. Oh, okay. Here is a personal gift from me to you. You can put it in the bag. Good afternoon, Professor Rama. They say, show me your teacher, and I'll tell you who you are. Professor Rama is a professor of geology, emeritus professor at the University of Ife. He taught me geology between 1978 and 1982 at the University of Ife. And he keeps monitoring my development. He's not very impressed with what I've turned out to be. So he keeps on checking. So why is there? Prof, welcome, sir. I'm going to start by reading an excerpt, and we'll take from there. I'd never traveled by air before this time. Nigeria Airways was the only domestic airline in the country. To be able to travel in the aircraft, a ticket had to be bought on time, and the passenger had to get to the airport on time. But I did not know that the praying and fighting for a seat on the aircraft was part of the preparation. I went to the bank and withdrew the little money I had saved. With 25 naira, I bought a ticket and arrived at the Enugu airport by 9 a.m. on Thursday, March 14, 1977, to catch the 12 noon flight. The first plane came. I secured the place on the queue was displaced. I could not get a boarding pass. The plane left at 12:30 p.m. I panicked and went to beg Nigeria Airways staff to help me. I was told that the 3 p.m. flight was available and I should struggle harder. The plane came and I struggled to get a boarding pass but failed again. The plane left at 3:45 p.m. without me. I became desperate and was told of another flight for 6 p.m. The flight arrived at 5:30 p.m. By this time, the airport was a marketplace. The very important dignitaries in Enugu and across the east are taking over. I struggled, begged, jumped, and cried, all to no avail. I still did not get a boarding pass. The plane left for Lagos about 7 p.m. and I was still in Enugu. The next flight was to be at 7:30 a.m. the next day, March 15, 1977. The same day my interview at the Center for Management Development Lagos was to hold. I was not deterred and I decided to sleep at the airport. I saw many others doing the same at the airport. It was uncomfortable sleeping on the hard floor. But when I slept off, it did not matter the type of surface. I woke up by 5 a.m. and quickly took my bath in the airport toilet and returned to the queue that had formed. By 5:30 a.m. I was on the queue. The boarding passes were being issued one after another and I did not get any. The plane landed and the struggle for boarding pass became fiercer and fiercer. Suddenly, a gentleman from nowhere beckoned to me and said I should bring my ticket. I ran up to him and gave him my ticket. He asked if I had any luggage to check in, and I said no. He gave me a boarding pass and he asked me to run to the aircraft. I was stunned, but quickly raced to the aircraft as fast as my legs could carry me. When I boarded the aircraft, I was still unsure if I would be called back. Soon after, the doors were shut and the plane took off to Lagos. I was the last to board the aircraft. It was that boarding pass that has given me the good luck that has become my lot today. I called that gentleman my angel. He was the angel I met at the airport. He made my life what it is today. He's an Igbo man by his ethnic group. He was a critical instrument used by God to deliver my family from penury, to rescue us from annihilation by poverty. To this man, I owe much of my accomplishments in life. I never set my eyes on him again because I returned to Enugu through Benin City by road. Never again did I set my eyes on him. This is a very significant story, sir. Why is the man the door to your success? Why do you say so? I mean, maybe we should then take this advantage of this peg and review the early beginnings of life and why this man is the door. There is a deliberate reason why I chose to read this part.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Adiroko. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, gentlemen. As Tony mentioned, this is my second visit to this place. And I told him a while back that each time I come here, I always see this place bustling. There's a lot of life here. And whenever I see the young faces that come across here, I feel so happy and excited because it reminds me of my own childhood and adolescence. This part of my book just read. You know when you finish, I kept quiet. Actually, I look back and saw how a man I never knew actually saved my life. Let me tell you what I mean. I had been called for a final interview for a job which every Nigerian first-class graduate wanted. What was this job? It was at the Center for Management Development. Professor Mabobunje. I saw his portrait out there. And it's late now. He was the first chairman of the Nigerian Council for Management Development. And the Center for Management Development was and still is the operating arm of that Nigerian Council for Management Development. So it was CMD that asked invited me and about 100 others for an interview. It was the final interview that was holding in Lagos. The program was first class. If you were employed, you would stay 2 years in Nigeria. You would stay 1 year at the Center for Management Development. Then you would stay 1 year undertaking a tour of duty in the industry. Thereafter, CMD will send you abroad for a 2-year MBA program. And while you are there, your salary is going on in Nigeria, you paid your allowances abroad, you will be an executive student, as it were. And when you come back, you serve a 3-year bond with the Center for Management Development. After that, you would have had the MBA, which was called the magic degree, and you could just fly. So that was the program that was almost being bumped up my inability to catch a flight to Enugu. When I got that flight, and we landed in Lagos, from Enugu, we landed in Lagos, I just said, God, I thank you. I took a taxi. I was a youth corps then. But the little money in my pocket, I brought it out and took a taxi straight from the airport to Road, Obanikoro. I eventually got the job. I spent 1 year in the center. I spent 1 year in Cadbury. My time in industry. I was sent to Arizona State University for a 2-year MBA program. Came back, served 3 years for my bond. So from there, I took off to Newswatch. From Newswatch, I went to Newsweek. From Newsweek, ABC Fund, to Pan-African Bank. From there to African Development Bank. From there to All States Trust Bank. From All States Trust Bank to Liberty Bank, where I was managing director. And the trajectory had been upward. I'm retired now. I'm really burnt out. I'm tired. You see, but I thank God for what He has done with my life. And I also thank that gentleman. And I prayed a lot in the book that may God be available to help him. And may God be the succor for his children. May people also see his children and help them. Some people are good, you know, and when you come across them, they are like angels. That was my angel idea. The chapter is actually Christian, the angel at the airport. That was the chapter of the title of that chapter. Thank you.
So that was in 1977. 1977 was a very pivotal year for my generation. It was a year of Festac, and the period that is described was the month after Festac. And I remember that people like me who had finished and all that, people like me who were still not in university, we thought that we owned the city, that everything was for us. So let me ask you, by the time I met you, sir, roughly 9 years after this episode, because this week started in 1986, and you were the business editor. My own sense was that a journalist was the lowest of the breed of professionals in Nigeria. So how did you end up with the breed of low class professionals if you had such a high flying job as CMD?
Thank you again. I studied mass communication as my first degree in the University of Lagos. So the newspaper world was my world. Television was my world. Radio was my world. And after the first degree, I went into management development as a management trainee. And then I was trained. I actually became a consultant before I left CMD. So, but when I left CMD, I had a strange combination. I had a BSc Mass Comm and an MBA Business. And there were two publications which were really very important in my days in business school. They were Forbes and Business Week. They were fantastic business magazines. I read those magazines every week of my stay in the US. And I always had an interest in writing. And I saw an opportunity to combine two skills and training that I have, and to pursue a passion that was going to give me money. That's how I entered journalism. And it was business. It was not just the run-of-the-mill journalism. It was economic journalism, business reporting. It was not being practiced very well. And by my exposure, I already saw the gaps. There were annual accounts, statements, income profit and loss statements, balance sheets. Many quite understand what they were. They were close to accounts. They didn't know what they meant. So it was very easy to totally turn around business journalism in Nigeria, which might stay in Newswatch and this week magazine. You see, but that brings me to somewhere you have come to. It was in the course of this business writing that your famous SAP, Structural Adjustment Program, was vetted. Tony must have a lot of questions about SAP, and I know some people may also have questions. And whatever questions there are, I'm ready to answer. The good news is that election is over. The president has been chosen. Those who voted for him won. Those who did not vote for him won. Because the president will have a president. So that is how I came into journalism. That's how I came to business reporting. See, but I was already a trained journalist. I was trained in the rudiments, the art, the science of journalism. So I knew what it was to be a journalist, and then I read business. And so becoming an economic editor was like a gift from God.
We're going to do SAP now, because that's actually very pivotal to this conversation. And you, for some reason, you didn't interrogate the SAP in this book. Because I know that you are very passionate about the privatization enterprise. The whole private. As a matter of fact, the whole thing started by something that was unnecessary privatization. Universities, for example, turned their guest houses to be managed, but they will still be owned by the university. I don't know what they call it. Commercialization, yes. Before it became full-blown. So my question before I ask that is, if you are so passionate about business journalism, and you are the number one. If you work for Newswatch and you work for This Week, there wasn't any other journal that was better in the mid-90s than those two. And if you did, why did you go to ABC? Was it that you began to feel that in this book? But I'd rather that you explain to me. I don't want to read the excerpt. The excerpt I'm going to read next, after we discuss the SAP, will be the banking consolidation, because we were so upset, and you did a full treatise on that, and it's important that we discuss that. So let's talk about this, your living, and then we go ahead to SAP.
If you grew up like me, I don't know how the younger ones are growing up. If you grew up like me, you will know that 2,000 naira added to your salary was a lot of money. And if they added 5,000 naira, you will jump, because it was a legitimate earning. You work and you are paid. So I had a lovely childhood. But my parents were not wealthy. You see, there was love in the home. The sons and daughters played. The parents were at home. My father was home. We would go to work and come back. So daddy was home. So you could not do too much rubbish. Mommy was loving. And but the naira was not there. The pounds, what it was there, wasn't there. But you just had to manage with whatever we got. So that's how I grew. And therefore, when the opportunity to start earning money came, I went at those opportunities. That's why I work in so many places. Because once the salary is better, I say, boy, I'm gone. But as I'm going, I'll give you your 1 month notice. I will do your handover, and I will give the baton to the next person. Wherever I went, they always sent me off. And therefore, I always left friends behind. Because I knew somehow that one day I will ask for help. So I went to all these places, and as you moved, your salary kept changing. As you moved, your salary kept changing. My salary changed and changed until I exclaimed, there's no more problem with money. and when I was able to say that, I remember the day I went to meet my mother. I said, "Mama, don't worry. What do you want something?" No, I'm fine now. You sent me something already. I said, "Okay, anything you want, just let me know." I'll tell my father the same thing. Just let me know. The boys and girls, my siblings who were in school, even when I didn't have money, I paid their school fees. Can you imagine now that I had money? I would buy whatever they wanted me to buy. But they always had to justify because I had no money to waste anyway. So that's why I kept changing and finally into journalism. And journalism now opened even a bigger door. You see, business journalism opened a bigger door, and I passed through. I passed through it.
So you were approached by FCC.
FCC fund. The older members here will know a name called Ibitimi Banigo. Ibitimi Banigo,
merchant banker.
Yes. He was the young managing director of a bank called International Merchant Bank, IMB. IMB was a merchant bank. And he was glamorous, was successful. He was young. And so he was a darling of people, men and women. So I'm with the young people like us who always looked at role models. We felt that this is a man who would like to look like. So I met him in the course of my work as business editor in Newswatch. And during the sad days, there were always lots of disagreements between professionals and government and people in government. On this occasion, Wagner disagreed with a lot of the banking professionals, and he just removed all of them. Banigo was managing director, and he was retired. So he now set up a fund management company called AVC Fund. AVC Fund now got a contract to manage a Rivers State government-owned bank. Banigo was Rivers, but it's now Bayelsa when the state was split. So the government gave his firm, AVC Fund, the contract to manage and restructure Pan-African Bank. It was in the course of our work that it got to me. And he asked me to come and join them in the AVC Fund as somebody to manage the Lagos end. So I came into AVC Fund as manager research and corporate development. From the next day, they sent me to Pan-African Bank as assistant general manager Lagos operations. That's how I entered banking. I entered banking from the top. You see, but I learned how to learn down the line. If it was management principles and management application, I knew those ones. If it's how to motivate and control and plan, I knew those ones. But those monies they were counting, I didn't understand. But I was versed in accounting from my MBA program, and therefore I worked in the. I was a cashier. I worked in the cage. I worked in foreign exchange everywhere. I knew. And I learned successfully, and that helped my banking career. That's how AVC Fund and I got together. And I believe it has been a wonderful opportunity for me. Thank you.
That's a talk, really. Yes. The conversation is really about SAP. What exactly happened? So you want to give us a context for the emergence of SAP, and then what some people argue about unresolved, objectives of SAP. The same way that you also wrote about the unresolved objectives of those consolidation that we're going to go to.
Thank you very much. Thank you. You would be shocked to know that in 1984-85, we were in the same position as we are today. Exactly. We're in the same precarious economic position as we are today. There were accumulated trade debts of about $5 billion. 3 were confirmed, 2 needed confirmation and verification. So we're owing, just like the CBN is owing today. And in 1982, the Shagari administration had passed an act called the Economic Stabilization Act, because economic problems had come before 1985. But Buhari went to the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, and he was told that he would be given the loan he wanted. Oil prices had dropped. Our expenditure level was high. We could not manage it. So Buhari, there was an election in 1983. Buhari could not touch IMF loan because of the election that was coming. And why? Why was he not able to touch it? Because I'm sorry. Shagari could not touch the IMF loan because of the election that was coming. But why was he afraid? There are 5 conditions that the IMF prescribed for their loan. First, restructure your civil service. Sack as many people as you need to sack, and stop employing. Then you should liberalize trade. Goods and services should be allowed to come in as they like. There should be no non-tariff barrier. You cannot simply say, I ban the importation of rice. No. It has to be based on tariff. Use the tariff structure to restrict their importation. Then you must remove subsidies. Remove subsidies from petroleum products. This petrol, we used to buy, was it up to 10 kobo or 30 kobo? How much? Now per liter. Now is a lot of money. So you have to remove that subsidies. Then you have to devalue your currency. You see the devaluation our president did on television. This devaluation, this 40% devaluation that they did on June 14. Countries scratch their head before they do it. That's why you have a problem. It is fundamental. The problem we have is fundamental. We'll come there. We'll get there. There's a restructuring program that must take over from where they are. They don't still know where they are. They're just moving like they don't still know where they are. But they can get the right answer if they do the right things. Okay. So you will after doing all that, then you will privatize. By the time you sell off all state enterprises at federal level, at state level, at local government level, all government-owned enterprises. By the time you sell them off, IMF says you now undertake massive privatization. That's where we have become. But before this time, the country was an El Dorado. Nigeria was beautiful. Nigeria was beautiful. Nigeria was caring. Nigeria was compassionate. Nigeria was sympathetic. Nigeria was loving. Nigeria was home. You could take a car. Even much later than that, you could take a car from Lagos at 12 midnight. Say you are heading to Sokoto. You probably will get there at 12 noon the next day. You will be safe. The roads were good. The people were friendly, and so on and so forth. So once those conditionalities, which the IMF called them, were that severe, Shagari did not take it. Buhari did not like it. Instead, Buhari went for counter-trade. I don't know whether you will remember. Counter-trade. Buhari went for counter-trade. But it was the same month of counter-trade. It was that month that it was overthrown by Babangida. August 1985. Counter-trade started mid-July, then August 1985. When Babangida came, he now said, well, you needed a debate. The IMF debate. And so, after we all debated, spoke grammar everywhere. Why were we debating? Because the government needed a $3 billion IMF facility. You know, a $3 billion IMF facility. That's what the government needed. To pay us some creditors so it can free trade lines. Exactly where we are now. Because of those debts they have the CBN. That's why we cannot move anywhere today. So Babangida now did the debate, at the end of which he announced to Nigerians that Nigerians have accepted to undertake the IMF restructuring program without the loan. We did not take the loan. Once we did not take the loan, you could not push in the effects of that program. The program was a 3-year program, roughly. It was August 1986 to September 1988, with some adjustment months to at least take care of whatever we're not working well. But after that adjustment period, you were at liberty to change the program. Nigeria never changed the program. That is why from 1986 to 2023, we have consistently valued our currency. Do you know, like the younger ones amongst us, we're manufacturing cars in Nigeria, or assembling cars. We had Alamco, we had Steer, we had Leyland, we had Peugeot Automobile, we had Volkswagen of Nigeria. Everywhere. You know, as we're doing that, we are still rolling mills. We are still rolling mills in Katsina. We had in Oshogbo. We had in Jos. We had in Delta Steel. You know, the economy was working. In addition to NNPC, there were many state enterprises. So jobs were available. The state governments were setting up state enterprises. The federal government were setting up government enterprises. And there were jobs at federal level. There were jobs at state level. You know, they were. I mean, when as we were growing up, you could get a job in a state. We say, no, I don't like this job. I have a job at the federal. Let me go and take a federal job. So someone tells you, I have a federal job in the Ministry of Industries, but I don't want to go there. Let me take this job in a broadcasting corporation of Midwest, or for your state, or of Anambra State, and so on and so forth. So there were jobs. as we were doing all this, the private sector was also good. As you had John Holt, you had SCOA, you had Everlast, you had Barrett Batteries, you had Michelin, you had Dunlop Tires, you had the cement companies, you had the paint companies everywhere. What has happened to Nigeria? You see, if we do not sit down, the country is lost too. We have to sit down to say now, because the next thing that we might hear is that the government wants to go to IMF. That this government wants to go to IMF. But it doesn't need to go. We can really sit down and say many of those programs of IMF need to be reversed. You see, we hear often that the business of the government has no business in business. Who said? Absolute. Who said? Is it? Are you going to tell us to South Korea? Are you going to talk to Russia? Are you going to tell China that government has no business in government? Or France? Or Malaysia or Indonesia? We are not talking. There are state enterprises, and in our constitution, we have a mixed economic system. According to the constitution, our constitution says in chapter, I noted it somewhere, that we practice a mixed economic system in Nigeria, and that is government and private sector would participate in the commanding heights, in controlling the commanding heights of the economy. Let me tell you, in Article 16, subsection A, subsection 1, A to D of the Nigerian Constitution, the role of government in the economic life of the country is clearly defined. It is wrong and immoral for government to leave the private sector to take over and undermine the economy of Nigeria. They cannot do it. They can't create the jobs. The private sector is a profit maximizing enterprise. They look for the best and the highest profits. A public sector is a profit satisfying enterprise. They make the minimum of returns and satisfy the general good of society. If the private sector is going to employ 20, and the real truth is that 35 people are supposed to do the job, but the private sector will one go along and come and get 20. The public sector will employ the 35. That is how the public sector is the one that is able to generate jobs in our society. For the eve of the structural adjustment program, Nigeria was a place to be. Many of the tires, the tires used on the vehicles, they were manufactured here. They were made in Nigeria. Even brake pads, there was a deletion program. As we were able to make those, we were able to manufacture them, the importation will be deleted, because you no longer need them to be imported. And then people will now are employed to work in those departments, those units, those companies that are able to manufacture. That is where we are. As a people, it is a beautiful opportunity, because we already devalued to the extent that no IMF would have told us to devalue. There's no way IMF will tell you to devalue from 453 to 800. No, they won't tell you. They are afraid. We did it to ourselves. And no IMF will tell you to remove fuel subsidy from 165 to 600. They won't tell you. They are afraid. They believe that there will be riots. You know? So now that we have done it, and we are ready to accept it, what is the next thing to do? As we speak, I tell you, as we speak, you know, I thank God that I had the varied opportunity to work in so many places and at high levels. You know, whether it was the African Development Bank in Ivory Coast in Abidjan, or as executive director, or as a general manager, or as a business editor. You know, the jobs available in Nigeria can confidently take on close to 30%, 40% of the unemployed manpower in Nigeria. Do you know how many people have left this country on Japa? Japa, I think it means run away, Abi. Go to the Federal Civil Service. The Federal Civil Service, many of them, they have left. Are there no jobs left behind by those people? Those who have left, then by attrition, by termination, by death, by retirement, and then by voluntary immigration. Just as they are leaving the Federal Civil Service, so they are also leaving the state service. So we have opportunities for job creation, or opportunities for jobs that are already created for the positions to be filled. And there are other avenues that we can even discuss in this session. Thank you. I can see you are ready to.
Thank you so much for that perspective. But a lot of people. Thank you. You can bring that one so that we can give it to him. Yes. The thing that SAP was trying to do, sir, was to allow the private sector to breathe. And I deliberately read that opening passage because that was in Nigerian Airways that could not properly, run the aircraft business. And you suffered because of it, and you're still saying that government should run, enterprises. Yes. Okay. Thank you. That kind of plan.
Unapologetically, the government and private sector. I'm not going communist or socialist. I'm saying the two arms should go into it. Just imagine. We have EPIS today. We have Max Airline. We have Aero. You have Arik. They are working. And then you have Nigerian Airways, owned by government. You have maybe another airline, Ibom Air, owned by Akwa State. So they are all going to Abuja. If EPIS is not available, Arik will be available. If Arik is not available, Nigerian Airways will be available. If they are not available, Ibom Air will be available. That is choice. That is choice. And as they are developing the market, the price will start falling, coming down. Today, I go to Benin, 250,000 naira. I've never had it in my life. To go to Benin, about 250,000 naira. This used to be 37,000. And then they moved to 50-something thousand. But now it's 250,000 naira. But it's because there is no competition. The fact that there was devaluation and all that, yes, can put some pressure, 20%, 30% price increase. But this price increases are about 300, 400, 500%. Look at Nigeria Airways. In most countries, any country that would like to promote tourism and attract business into its territory sets up an airline. Nigeria Airways was inefficient, but it was did travel on Nigeria Airways. I suffered. I almost lost everything I have today if I didn't undertake that trip. But I still came. What if there was no airline at all? We'll be dead. But what we are saying is the public enterprises and private sector should help promote the industrialization of Nigeria. It cannot be private sector. We have seen the experience now from 1986 that is not working. Let me tell you what BP read out sometime last year. Bureau of Public Enterprise. The Bureau of Public Enterprises said that between 1989, when the sell-off started massively, to the year 2020, a total of 234 public enterprises were privatized. With the federal government and the federal government realized a princely sum of 1 trillion naira from the exercise. Where is the money? Where is the money? Blown. Where are the enterprises? They are gone. The jobs that were being provided, where are they? There are no jobs. So the boys and girls are just streaming. Some they are driving Okada. How can you do that? Some girls are eating here in the market. Is that work? That's no quality work. So and yet, this is what the Nigerian Constitution says. It says it defines government involvement to include participation in production, distribution, sale of goods and services. Article 3 of the Constitution, B and C. Section B and C. That the state needs and must participate in the distribution, the production, and the sales, marketing of goods and services. It's important, otherwise we will not grow. If we depend, and take note, like Nigeria Airways, finally disbanded it, liquidated it. Why did he liquidate it? He said when he was leaving, he left 20 aircraft, and so doesn't matter. You can leave 50 aircraft, and the business goes down. You recapitalize it. You recapitalize. Why do banks recapitalize? Banks recapitalize because sometimes their equity has been eroded by losses. By theft, by poor performance. The capital is eroded. We cannot survive anymore. Before that false capitalization came, which was also problematic. You know, because the bank knows the kind of business it does, and to what extent it needed to be recapitalized. It will recapitalize. Most today, all these countries, the IMF, the controllers of the IMF, they will tell you there's no subsidy. They subsidize agriculture massively. They subsidize students' loans massively. They subsidize the poor. Give you free housing to the poor. Every month, most American poor and British poor, they get food stamps. $300. They say we should not subsidize. And we are listening to them. I don't understand. And we are listening to them. So we are lazy because we don't sit down and with the big man in the chair and ask experts and have his own advisors and ask experts to go to the wall, project what you want to do. What is this program you want to do? Show us the advantages and disadvantages. Where are the drawbacks? Where's the downside? If it fails, what are the consequences? If it's successful, what are the consequences? You know, give us a summary of what you have said. Okay. Now that you have told us, let us think and take this decision. If you don't do that, you cannot. Let me tell you. Look at what happened with our new president. How can you have a new president and there's no hope? How can you have a new president and there's no hope? A new president wants with hope. First of all, remove fuel subsidies. Okay. All right. There's a lot of corruption. Okay, we shall manage. Then you temper with the DNA of society. The unification. Exchange unification. Yes. You unify the black market with the official market. But why did you bring the black market to come and join the official market? Instead of taking the official market to go and join the black market. Even if you are doing it, do it gradually. Do it gradually. I still believe in him. For me, it's the best that I have. It's the best around. Of the three candidates. Oh yes, for me. But there are errors, there are mistakes. These mistakes need to be corrected quickly. Because the immunization index is very high. People are dead. They are not just hungry. They are dead waters.
So there's work to be done on I mean, essentially what SAP started has to resolve. Essentially, that's what you're saying.
That's where we are.
So can you give us just 3 points because you did list what SAP was meant to do that you know it did. And you said it also then rewind. So those things just for us to have something in our records before we then go to the banking consultation.
Okay, let me. My back is supposed to be. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, what I think we need to do. We need to do a review of the structural adjustment program. A review of the Nigerian structural adjustment program. And first, we must return to the era of public enterprise management. You know this boy? The governor of Akwa Ibom. Sorry, the man, the guy who just left. Udom Emmanuel, former executive director of Zenith. You see, he puts in each local government, he established a producing company in each local government. Then came to Akwa Ibom itself, to the town, Uyo. They put up Ibom Air. These companies that were set up in the local government, they are working. They are producing. Spirits are not working there. They are Nigerians working there. That is job creation. Just imagine 35 other states doing that. And then the federal government itself, federal government has not even been able to set a Nigerian aviation company back on course. That is a state-owned airline. You did it. Has not been able to. There are many that want. Look, a company, why ban this? Many did not. I think we are gradually knowing why there are so many. It's because of the mines. There's mining. They are stealing money. They are being used to steal money. They are carrying bullions in aircraft at night. Even during the day. Did you see the WhatsApp pictures that went around earlier today? How bandits were pushing police in Kaduna. So we need. We once had a Nigerian mining company. Do you remember? Nigerian mining company. Once had a Nigerian mining. Can you imagine a Nigerian mining company mining these resources?
Boy, it wasn't functional.
Yes. It was functional. Nigerian mining company was functional. I once invited Nigerian mining company director to attend the course when I was in Center for Management Development. Profit efficient. Yes. So it could have been made, but NNPC not working. What is the difference between NNPC? Okay. When you are ready, you let me know. What is the difference between NNPC and Nigerian mining company? NNPC is a mining company. NNPC is also a mining company. So it's mining petroleum. Look, they are still. Next, you give me an assignment. I'm going to go to the next one. The next one is crude oil test. You are going to Saudi Arabia to go and look for money. You are going to India to look for money. They are stealing your oil. Yes. Why is the mining director still there? Why is the top executive of NNPC still there? Toy. Look, everybody else is gone. Why do those guys they should just be cleaned out the first 3 levels because the test is in there. And get international companies engaged in espionage and bring them in to check where is this oil being stolen through. It's life and death. It's a serious matter. I was
just going to say that, this new government, one of the things similar sectors wants to do is actually to revive the Nigerian Mining Corporation. Because we know that let the NGSA carry out basic exploration work. Somebody's going to move it forward. If you don't move it forward, the investors are not going to come. He knows. The investors are not going to come. So we've got to build it so that somebody can then be convinced that they can put his money into it. And there's any way to go. In any case, I mean, I've written about this is that government has a duty to drive the economy. It must. Look, what happened when the world economy collapsed? Didn't Obama put money into American companies? That's the capitalist state of the most capitalist country in the world. But America had to put money in to get those industries to get back to work. You must do it. There are fundamental reasons why governments must participate in business. If they don't, the whole thing collapses. I'm sorry.
I'm even saying, hello? Prof, I'm even saying, I'm sorry. I'm even saying the Nigerian mining company does not need to be revived. It's died. They sold it. It has to be recreated. Yes. Exactly. It needs to do it. Because all those $3, $4, $5 billion that leaves Zamfara, Plateau, Benue, Adamawa every year, they go into private pockets.
At a meeting, and a commissioner was in Zamfara was boasting to us that it takes not more than 1 trillion every year from the gold. It's not reflected in the public accounts. It's not.
Thank you, sir. When you say, Prof, that the government has a role in business and the government must participate in business, it's something we hear often, and people take models from all over the world. Oh, Asia, the government participated in the economy. The US, the government participated in the economy. I have like 2 or 3 windows into the debate. Number one, there is no single model of government participation in the economy. Even within the East Asian Tigers, it's so different. That's why you have today South Korea, Samsung, you have the telephone, the telephone making company, you have the car brands. If you look at Singapore, you don't see that because South Korea spent a lot of money supporting businesses to make things. Taiwan didn't do that. Singapore didn't do that. But they're also successful, economies. So there's no single model of participation. Some states decide to be the linesman, some will be the referee. But in Nigeria, we should look at 2 things. The historical experience, number one, then the kind of states we have before we can make inferences. The Nigerian state is linesman, it's referee, it's goalkeeper, it's captain, it's goalkeeper, and it's everything. And that's why we are today. We should make judgment based on that historical experience. When a bureaucrat, senator, a politician in Abuja, the state must participate. They are happy. And you know why? That's a lot of job. So from our own historical experience, we need what people argue for state intervention. The right simply called the night guardman state, the gatekeeper state. Let them try. Can even manage exchange rate, can manage fiscal policies. Why overload them with more dollars to waste? That's my intervention, sir.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me take your argument from there. So we'll exchange. You see, there is the Nigerian LNG model. The Nigerian LNG model. That is what has made our LNG productive and profitable. What is it? Federal government 49%. Mobil, Shell, Total, 51%. The decision making is not in the hands of government. No. So it's a joint enterprise. It's a PPP, private-public partnership, as it were. It has worked. It has worked very well. Why can't we adopt that model? Yes, your statement was very brilliant about not having a uniform public enterprise intervention model. It's true. You see, but we have one that has worked. Why can't we replicate it? It has worked for us. Let us check, because it's 200 million people. Many of us doubt the population numbers. Let's assume it's 180 million. Still a lot of human beings. Have you seen show sometimes? They show you around 12 noon on Wednesday. It's like 25 million people on the streets, as it were. So what I'm saying really is that we need a private sector model that can work. And the LNG model has worked. If it works for us, we should roll it out across the country. Let us get these boys off the streets. And let's just stop making them slaves in Europe and America and Canada. These guys, educated boys, some engineers, accountants, doctors, doctors, they make them nurses. Engineers, they say, this is not engineer, go and be a technician. Lawyers, they say, you have to take that by exam 25 times over. And so on and so forth. These guys are just slaves. So I believe we have a model that works. Let's replicate it. Thank you.
I totally agree with you. And honestly, sir, when Nigerians participate or Africans in global policy development debates, honestly, this is the kind of example one expects them to bring as our own contribution. We don't necessarily have to adopt the Korean, the American, or the Taiwanese model. But what has worked for us, and you've done two things, sir. It's worked for us at the level of concept. We know who we are. Let's find a model that handles decision making to the private sector. Then number two, it has worked. I agree with you, sir. Thank you.
Quick one. We've exhausted, so let's quickly and this can't take too long because I'm being hounded. Someone has brought some paper to say that I should get out of here. But it's important for us because your book, the most critical part of your book is a dismissal of Soludo's banking and consolidation. And you tend to feel that Sanusi actually amended. So Sanusi looks like the shining armor, and Soludo looks like a horrible. As a matter of fact, you mentioned here that people should have taken to court. So many times that it should be Benuri. Personally. So can we examine just the first 3 lines of what he set out to do, and then why it failed, and some kind of a summary, and why you are so. You are caught up in 2 of those challenges. You are in all states, but you had left before that thing kicked in. But you felt that Chief Banigo was deliberately hard on to, I don't know whether I got the English right. And then Liberty Bank was supposed to be part of, a company that will take off. You are running that company, you are the MD. And then he couldn't, but then you also admit that there was a corporate governance issue. The owners of these banks themselves, had subsidy.
If you do not sit down, sit down to analyze the problem, you won't go far in resolving it. Soludo didn't sit down to analyze the problem. It did not sit down to say what was the problem in the banking sector. It became CBN governor on the 6th of June. On the 1st of July, he announced consolidation. What did he see? No. Because the NDIC report available to managing directors of banks, including myself at the time, was that the banking sector was about 55% excellent, 80% satisfactory, and that there were six problem banks and about 7 or 8 distressed banks. Finish. Why should everybody go for 25 billion naira? You saw the crisis that came in 1998. In 2009. That was a disaster that came. So because he didn't sit down to say, this is the problem. Let us go at this problem in a systematic way. You just came and said, the banking license then was 1 billion naira. That everyone should now have 25 billion naira equity funding. To do what? Which economy? What is to be financed? Because even then, others were being financed together jointly. So that is one of the grouses. And two, in developing that program by itself, there was too much of bitterness at the back of it, including the man who was heading the government. And his attitude towards a particular person you mentioned, who left his cabinet as minister. You know, if you leave the cabinet of the general as minister, you are a co-plotter. They destroy you as much as possible. That's what happened to him. And besides that, in the execution of the 12-point agenda, the 12-point consolidation agenda, in the execution, it was totally consistent with the outline that he gave. He never said any bank was going to be liquidated. Neither he said those who did not make the 25 billion naira equity mark would not access foreign exchange market. I would not take government deposits. Read it. Because I've been a journalist. So whenever those documents come out, I actually read them and line by line. Yes.
The response is sort of like final. We kept on repeating that there was a whole lot of shareholding that was lost. And you also said there was a lot of deposits by government itself. I mean ministries, government agencies, that disappeared. How come nobody has been prosecuted? What exactly is lost? Things are lost over. I've been able to challenge these agencies.
I'll give you some examples. I became a chancellor of Ambrosial University. In my due diligence exercise to even know what is on ground university, so I know where I was. I saw 75 million naira of the university fund in all states. So I said, who can use this to do something in the school? Please, auditors, pursue. Let us go and find our way in this. They followed them to NDIC. And they actually pushed them from one office to the other, to about 3 or 5 offices. You go here, you go there. Today, things disappear. NNPC deposits, billions disappeared. Nigeria will deposit billions disappeared in these banks. So it was the loss. Apart from the shareholders' funds, this is staff. Many staff have lost their jobs. Many of them died. Some of them went into criminality. All this Niger Delta banditry started from there. You know?
That's the last once you answer him. We just wrap.
Promotion of non-professionals in the banking sector. Some even become MD. Then the last one, brief. Where does